and Kathleen's powerful message urges two women to embrace their potential and reshape the future. So she will now share her vision of the world transformed by women who dare to build and lead. So please welcome Kathleen to the stage, and the stage is all yours.
Good afternoon, Forbes. Good afternoon. I am so thrilled to be here. So today we're going to talk about power, the force that most impacts our businesses and lives, and what no one ever taught us, how to have more of it. So as we sit here today, 50% of all women feel burned out. They feel exhausted. Around the world, 50% of all women. And I want you to just think quickly, coming in here, were you feeling burnt out? Were you feeling burnt out? You don't need to raise your hands. Oh, we got some brave women in here. So, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Who feels burned out coming in? Yeah. And I've been there. You know, I remember in the middle of the day, I was so bone tired one day that I left my office and I went and I slept on a park bench. Got into the fetal position, and I remember walking back to my office, and it felt like the longest walk of my life because I'd been gone for hours. And so I thought, everyone's going to notice that I've been gone. What am I going to say? And I walked in, and not only did no one notice I was gone, no one noticed, more importantly, that I was not okay. And so for me, it was this great aha moment that no one is coming to save you. No one but you. And so that voice in my head whispered quietly at first, but with more ferocity over time, there has to be a better way. And so I became an anthropologist of sorts. I went and studied women, and it seemed like there were two camps of women. There were women who were thriving and leading these joyful, vibrant, full lives. And then there was this other camp of women, women like me, who were burnt out, exhausted, tired. And I wanted to understand what takes someone from ordinary to extraordinary. And so I went and spoke with some of the most successful women I could find in the States. Women like Jessica Alba, Eva Longoria, Ariana Huffington, women who've been on the cover of Forbes, self-made mavericks, multi-millionaires. And I learned a secret. It turns out there is a pattern that all great women do. And that's what I'm going to share with you here today. And it's this. They prioritize mindset over skill set. So mindset, managing your mind over everything else. Skill sets are important. Everything from brand strategy, to marketing, to pitching, to sales, to product, to pricing, right? We need all of that in our business. But what becomes the greatest X factor is your mind. And what happens as a result of that is not only do you have a great quality of your life, but your power button automatically turns on. So what is power, and why does it even matter? There's external power, which is what we're taught to value. That's influencing and motivating others, right? That's all external. And then, spoiler alert, there's internal power. And that's what matters the most. That gives us more optimism, more confidence, more joy in our lives. And so I went and studied power, and it turns out the prefrontal left cortex of your brain automatically lights up when you are focused on your mindset. You're in more of an activation state. You take more action, you're more decisive. And inversely, when you're less focused on your mindset, you're less in a state of power. And so it's dynamic, which is what's really exciting. The more we focus on it, the more we end up having. Have you ever been in a room and someone walks through that door and they seem to have gravity? They have this like gravitational pull. They're vibrating higher, they're radiating brighter. They just have it. And what I call this is amplification. It's what authentic power looks like. In business, this is the ability to walk into a room, and no matter who is in that room, you command that room. No matter how someone's trying to move you or take you off your position, you have a center that is so strong you cannot be moved. And I remember being in this very office. I had a meeting with Diane von Furstenberg, the designer, and it was just me and her. And I was so nervous. I was so nervous. And here she was behind this exact desk. She had this big, beautiful, breezy hair, these bracelets. She'd kind of adjust her hair this way and that. And I pitched her. And she grilled me. She was so blunt and so direct in her questions. And then at the end, and I thought the meeting had gone horribly, she was gushingly complimentary. She wrapped me in this leopard print scarf and kind of spun me out the door. And I just stood outside the door thinking, wow, that's what authentic power looks like. I'd never been in the presence of a woman who not only embraced her contradiction, she showed me it is absolutely necessary. And so what does all of this require when it comes to power? It requires you, all of you, stepping into your full power. All of you. Because you are your greatest asset when it comes to business. So today we're going to really quickly whiz through 4 power unleashers, okay? So this is how we take our power game to the next level. And it's important because we're constantly dealing with power diminishers every day, right? Fear, imposter syndrome, insecurities, breakdowns, cultural forces. So we need these power unleashers to help us alchemize and neutralize those power diminishers, but more importantly as well, take the game to the next level. So that starts with having a vision. This is the most important power unleasher. It just is. Because if you aren't serving your dream, and we all have a dream, we all have a calling on our lives, you're automatically going to be serving someone else's vision. And that's a horrible life, right? So the key to a great vision is it just needs to be crystal clear. And it needs to be gargantuan. It should be so big, you probably couldn't do it in 5 lifetimes if you tried. So on the left-hand side here is Walt Disney World. This is Walt Disney World before his imagination got a hold of it. And you could say, well, he was able to create what's on the other side because of money and team, but the reality is it's because he had a vision. And so some of you might be thinking, well, it's too early or it's too late for me to start. I want to share these 3 women who felt that same way, but realized their vision anyway. So one 10 years ago on Twitter declared that she was going to sing the national anthem at the Super Bowl. She just put it out there that she was going to do it. Another at the age of 7 said she was going to become a comedian. And finally, another at the age of 40 decided she wanted to be a wedding dress designer, but said, maybe it's too late for me. Meet in order Demi Lovato, Tina Fey, and Vera Wang, who all realized their visions, all of them. Brain studies now reveal that thoughts produce the same mental instructions as actions. The same exact mental instructions as actions. So what we're learning is that visualization plus taking action is twice as effective as visualization or taking action alone. It has this really profound compound effect, which is why we're seeing all-star athletes like Serena Williams, great entrepreneurs and leaders, all leverage the power of having a vision. So I'm a practical person, and so I love tools. And so the idea here is to use these tools for the rest of the 365 days of the year. And the first one would be to just leave here and spend some time playing with your imagination. If you could create anything without any constraints, had no limiting beliefs, what would you go create in this world? What would you go create? So go imagine that. Have fun with that. Play with that. The second power unleasher are wellness habits. So if we can't prioritize ourselves for 60 minutes a day, we're really not good for anyone else. I want to pull these fun little quotes from social media, just share one of them with you today, see if you can relate. But really the idea here is that the more we do and take on, the more important our foundational habits become, because they help us manage stress and keep us in a really positive state. So with love, Becca says, any other parents out there go into panic mode when presented with an hour of alone time? Should I read a book, clean up the house, take up knitting, learn German, solve world hunger? Oh my God, do all the things, and your hour is up. The key to having a foundation in place is what I call the 60-minute prime. So this is 60 minutes a day doing 3 things: sweat, sustenance, and silence. Sweat, just moving your body, getting those endorphins going. Silence, whether it's mindfulness or meditation, whatever that means to you. Spending time. If you've got little kids, go sit in the car. That's the only way you can find silence. And sustenance, just eating really clean and green, fueling your body in the right way. The second tool to use is what I call the 60-second pause. So we've got our foundation, right? Now you're going to go out into the world. The world's going to start screaming at you with demands and opportunities as well. So in order not to live a reactive life, which is a horribly painful life, when someone asks you to do something, you put it through your gut, which is the greatest superpower as women, right? We have these really powerful guts. And you see, is it warm or cold? Is it peaceful or agitating? Does it feel like a large, confident me or small baby me, right? And if it's hovering over here, it's a yes. If it's hovering over here, it's a no. So the tool here is daily to start practicing the 60-minute prime and the 60-second pause. Put those into action. Our third power unleasher is mindful leadership. So I don't know about you guys, most of us were taught wounded leadership, right? Textbook leadership. It's traditionally a male paradigm. So you go, you are the leader that you think you should be. And what I'm proposing is this idea of mindful leadership. So really making contact with who you are, your vision, your values, what triggers you, and how you want to lead. There's no right or wrong way. It's just what is authentic to you. And this requires tapping into the subconscious. How we operate is 90% subconscious. And so in order to find out who we are, we have to unearth and elevate all that has been submerged, right? All of your positive traits and your negative traits. Things like, wow, I can be really sassy and manipulative and aggressive, but I'm also kind and empathetic. Making those fierce friends. That's the work. And it's really, really powerful work when you embrace who and what you are as a leader. And every single woman in this room is one. So I'd encourage you just to spend some time defining your leadership style. Make that list of your pros and your cons, your good and your bad, and start to make those things fierce friends. And then write a few sentences about the sort of leader you're going to become. Okay, this is my favorite one. So the fourth power unleasher are outrageous asks. If you want a big life, you've got to make really big asks. You've got to seem crazy. And so an outrageous ask is a basic ask to the 10th exponent. And to give you guys a little bit of an example, I was watching on the plane ride coming home one day a documentary called Becoming Warren Buffett. And he's this incredible businessman, and every single morning for the past 6 decades, he's gone to the McDonald's drive-thru in Omaha, Nebraska, where he lives. He gets an Egg McMuffin. And so I sent his office a note, and I said, I'd love to fly from New York to Omaha for 5 minutes of Mr. Buffett's time. I'll get in at the beginning of the drive-thru, and I'll get out at the end of the drive-thru. So no added time to his day. And I got this note back that Mr. Buffett was so tickled. It was a not now, which isn't a no, and isn't a never. But all of those women who I introduced at the beginning of this presentation were all from Outrageous Asks. They did not know me. And so this tool, if you practice it even once a week, that's 52 outrageous asks you have a year. And just one can change the entire trajectory of your business and life. It is that powerful. So start making those outrageous asks and let me know how they turn out for you. You are the greatest investment you can make. You really are. And so today, as we sit here, I hope more than anything, you decide, and even if this is all you do, you decide you are going to step into your full power and potential. You are going to unleash yourself in a way that you have not done before into the world. And if you want to take things a step further, go work on a vision. Go practice the 60-second prime and the 60-second pause daily. Go define your leadership style and communicate that out to your team. Go make those outrageous asks weekly. And I promise you, your life this time next year will be a very different life. It will. It will. What we need more than ever right now, and it's going to come down to women like you in this room, is for you to step into your power. Because when you do, it encourages and allows other women to do the same. Your power is what powers others. So thank you all so very much. And we're going to open it up for one or two questions. We've got a few minutes. Who's going to go first and be brave? Yeah. So let's play it out, you and me. Is there someone right now that you want to meet, or a business partner, someone that you would be too afraid to normally go out and send an email to or call on the phone to ask them to do something? You can think of, can you share it? Who it would be?
Well, there are a couple of places, but there's only the but. The person is so far away that I couldn't even, it's exactly in Outrageous.
Distance ask, okay. But would you be willing to go there, wherever they are? Probably. Okay. So that's a key distinction in an outrageous ask. It should feel so big, it makes you uncomfortable. It has a 99% rejection rate. Someone opening and getting it, 99% of the time is going to say no to you. But that 1% can be life-changing, right? The ability and the willingness to demonstrate that you will do whatever it takes, like fly wherever this person is what makes people often feel compelled and willing to say yes. Because you demonstrate that you're willing to do whatever it takes. So that's a key distinction there. Can we hold you accountable to doing it? All of us in this room?
Yes.
Okay. I want to hear from you. I really want to hear from you. I love that. Another question. Oh, great. Hi. 1 minute.
Okay, I've made my outrageous ask, and it led me to the CNN International Desk in Atlanta, and I was involved in covering breaking news story, just like that, out of the blue. But my question for you is, what do you think, how your upbringing actually made you who you are today? The factors that influenced your mindset and your attitude towards the life. Did you have support, or you were breaking some toxic cycles and stereotypes?
Great question. Can I also just say how chic this whole room is? Everyone who's here is just beyond chic. So I grew up in a very traditional family. There are no entrepreneurs in my family. We are the most risk-averse group of people. No one takes risks, right? And so I did all of the traditional things. I went and worked a corporate job. I went to a good school. I got engaged. I did everything. I was going to get married. I did all the things that I thought I was meant to be doing, as a good girl. And I woke up one morning and I looked at my life and I felt like I was living someone else's life. Like my life felt dead to me. I felt numb and really just absolutely not alive, the opposite of being alive. And so I quit my job without knowing anything about what I was going to do next, certainly without any experience in entrepreneurship. But I just made a commitment to myself that I was not going to continue to live the life that everyone else wanted me to live. I was going to go design my own life. I was going to pick up the pen, and write ferociously, courageously of my own design. And so it was really a breakdown. Honestly, I think we talk a lot in entrepreneurship and having your own business as if it's this big, courageous, fearless leap into it. And I more kind of slithered into it. It was not courageous at all. It was just the inability to continue to live something that wasn't true to me anymore. That's how it started. Thank you. You good? So I hope you will all connect with me online. I'd love to hear about those outrageous asks and visions and everything that you're getting up to, and look forward to meeting all of you a bit later tonight at the meet and greet. Thank you.